you is the home page that you're seeing as soon as you log into D2L. You can see this is the home page, and right here is how you get to your classes. Also, you can get to your classes down here under My Courses. You can see with the canceled classes. You can also see different news. This is all college-wide information, okay? And you can also access information here. This is some user guides, orientation videos, help with D2L, frequently asked questions. Here's your email. E-services are things like, oh, that's your registration. Resources is really useful. The GPS Life Plan, which has a lot of information on it, and your help desk if you need help with anything around technology. So what I'm going to do now is take you to the course page, and I've changed it into a student's course page so you can see what it looks like for you. So here's the news, and I will be posting updates throughout the semester. Maybe things change, maybe there's a change I have to make, and that'll come to the news, okay? Another thing that is very, very important, and I strongly encourage you to do this, is notifications. So you can go here next to your name, click on notifications, and there's all these different emails or text messages you can receive. So here's where you put in your email address. Here's where you put in your mobile phone for texts. This is where you make a decision of how often do you want a summary of activity, and it's either daily or never. So if you don't want something every day, you click never. But you can get messages, either instant notifications or email. You can see I have mine set up for email. But I could set up a text message if I had my mobile number registered. So I have several discussion boards that I will receive an email as soon as you post in the question board. I get an email. You can click this if you want to know when the Dropbox is going to close for an assignment in 2 days. You can click this if you want to know if your grades are updated, if you want to know if there's a news item updated, or if the quizzes are going to end in 2 days. It's very, very helpful, and I can't tell you how many times people just forget that something's due, even very good students, and if they had this enabled, they would get a reminder. Okay, so I really recommend that you do set up notifications, and again, remember that they are over here underneath your name, right here under notifications. Okay, but for now, we are going into the course, and we are going to look at how you navigate around the course. Again, mentioned news. Here's my contact information right here with my photograph. It tells you a little bit about me, my phone number, my office, and all of my office hours. Okay, now this will change from semester to semester, so make sure you check your website. Next, we're going to go to materials, and under materials you can see the calendar. I definitely have many items on the calendar that are posted. I have, so for example, you can see when assignments are due, when quizzes are due, what's due when. I use the calendar. I don't use checklists. I do use, I'll go back to content, but I do use frequently asked questions. Let me just show you that. So these are questions that I get probably 50 or 60 times a semester, so I have them in here for you to look at. And then let's go back again, materials, content. Content is where you will find the meat of the course. You can see that this is the course intro that you need to read. Then this is a course scavenger hunt, which is just basically walks you through some of the basic skills you will need to be successful in this course, using a Dropbox, taking a quiz, downloading Lockdown Browser. Here's a sample weekly schedule that will tell you approximately, will tell you when things are due, how the course runs. This is an introductory video telling you a little bit about me and what to expect in the course, how to find my office. Number the weeks in your planner is very important because I do not use dates throughout the entire semester. I use weeks. The reason I do this is because there are so many dates and so much detail in this course is that if I had to change the date every semester for sure, I would make mistakes, and then it would be even more confusing because I'd have the wrong dates in there. There's just too many details for me. So what I've done instead is I number the weeks in the semester, and then I tell you what we're studying. I tell you when the quizzes are. I tell you when the major assignments are due. And that way, I think it makes it a little bit easier on everybody. I'm going to skip down then to communication tools. We're going back to content. Okay. And you can see there's some netiquette things that you can do. I've got to get back to the beginning. That's one of the problems with this. It's a little bit hard to navigate. But here is all of sort of the basic course information. And then I want to show you the weekly schedules. And I'm going to skip down to week 3 because that's a little bit more into the course and it has more of an average weekly schedule. So here is the schedule, and it tells you a little bit about what we're going to learn. It tells you what the required reading is. It gives you our discussion, the discussion questions. Okay, here's some, a lot of times in discussions I have you look at something else and that's linked there. And then here are all the learning activities or quizzes that are required for that week. Here's your study guide and your lecture outline. And then I also post down here what is important, what's coming up, so that you're not surprised by this. Okay, so when you want to know, when you're wondering gosh, I wonder what's due, this is where you go. Okay, it's under content and it's under the weekly schedule or work to complete. It's all right here. Okay, I do not show you every single week for the entire semester because I think it's too overwhelming. But by the week 4 or 5, when people are much more comfortable with navigating, well, then you will see the entire work that will need to be done, but you will not see it in the very beginning of the semester. Okay, so that's materials. Remember, materials is the calendar, content, frequently asked questions. Next is communications, and here we use the chat occasionally, not very much. You can use the class list if you want to email people. We use discussions a lot, and we do use groups. So discussions is a very important part of the class. And you can see that I have questions about assignments. This is where you go if you have a question, if you can't find something. It's right here. You post a question and either myself or another student will answer it. Then, this is also where you're going to see, now this is week 7, it's in the middle of the semester for me right now while I'm recording this, but you'll see week 1, 2, 3 as they become available. And here's a question. This is the question you will have answered, and you will be divided into smaller groups. Now you yourself will only see one of the groups because I'm the instructor, I see all the groups. Okay, so you will have a question to answer, again, outside resources for you to look at. Is the most important. Okay, assessments. What we'll use is Dropbox, grades, quizzes. You'll also have a survey toward the end of the semester for the evaluation. But the Dropbox, let me show you that. This is going to be where you load assignments. There's not very many, there's just a few, and this is also something that you can set in your notifications to let you know when it will close. Grades will be something that you can look at. Your grades will be updated quite a bit. And then quizzes are divided by week, and most of these quizzes are not what I would call assessment quizzes. They're more learning activities. They more walk you through the material so that, in other words, you may not know anything about My Plate when you click on this, and that's totally fine. What I expect you to do is learn by doing this. Now where you see quiz chapter 1 through 3, that is an assessment quiz. You can see it's a shorter period of time. You only get 1 attempt versus the others you can have 2 or 3 attempts. And it is timed. So most of these are what we call learning activities, and they are, you can see that you get more than one attempt, you have all the time you want, and you can do them anytime, you can work ahead. But this, the assessment quiz, the chapter quiz, is a shorter period of time. You have fewer minutes to do it, and you only have one attempt. Okay, so again, that's found under assessments. Also, don't forget that you can set your notifications to tell you when those are due. So under assessments, I think we have all that. Resources, again, the help desk. These are some tutorials. The library. We're not going to use much of these, but you can use them in other classes. So that is a quick summary of how you're going to navigate through this course. Again, don't forget to ask questions in this discussion board about assignments. If you can't figure something out, but in general, everything is going to be listed under content, and you should be able to figure out what you need to do. Don't hesitate to come and visit me if you're on campus. I'd love to meet you. Again, remember my office hours are located, I want to get back to the home page. My office hours are located over here with my picture along with my phone number. Email is really the best way to get a hold of me, but I'd really love to meet you if you're on campus. So thanks very much for listening to this, and I hope this helps.